Okay,
Just
let's
you.
go. Three,
Hi.
2, 1. Welcome to
Welcome to
Welcome to
Spiritual
Spiritual
Lemuria.
Lemuria.
Welcome
Welcome
to
Welcome to
Spiritual
Spiritual
Lemuria.
Lemuria. Okay, hi guys, I'm Kari. We have Jini and Shanal in the house, and today is our first YouTube and Zoom chat, and we're going to be focusing on mental mastery. And since we're Spiritual Lemuria, we're going to introduce you to our 5 pillars, our core values, and what we stand for. And for that, I'm going to introduce you to Shanal. Shanal, take it over, yo.
Hello. Thank you for that nice, warm, not so funny welcome. All right. So the 5 pillars of Spiritual Lemuria Lemuria basically represents your heaven on earth life, and your heaven on earth life isn't just about having finances as like most people think, or having a perfect career, just being happy in your career. So we developed the 5 pillars of Lemuria because we feel these are the things that encompasses your perfect life. So today we're going to be focusing on mental mastery because having peace of mind is one of the most important things that you need to navigate through your life. The other things that we're going to be focusing on is the material mantle, which does deal with your career and your finances because that is an important part of your life. We're going to also be dealing with healthy heart, your relationships. We know everybody's looking for a relationship, but it's also like dealing with your relationship with yourself because that's the most important one. We're going to be talking about your spiritual soul because that is a big part of why you're here on earth, and it is going to help you feel fulfilled like in your everyday life. And the last one that we're going to be talking about is your um, healthy heart. So basically that is your your physical appearance and like how you're going to look and how you appear to other people. And yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. And yeah, so I'll hand you over to Jay, who is going to talk a little bit more about mental mastery. She's our psychologist. So yeah, take it away.
Okay, so what is mental health? I've got like all the different topics that we were supposed to talk about here, like self-doubt and limitations and stuff. But like mental health is basically is just you being the best version of yourself and not letting outside forces affect you. You must be your own person. You must be confident and believe in yourself, and all of that comes with working on yourself and making sure that you're the best version of yourself. And how do you do that? Like, I mean, there's so much of things that's out there, like we about spirituality, but if you look at psychology as well, there's like so much of things that you have to know. So like, where do you start? Like, how do you know that you're doing the right thing? So the thing is, it's so difficult because you can go to a psychologist, they can diagnose you with something, and then you can try and fix it up. But like sometimes it's more than that. It's not just something that's just human related. Sometimes it's spiritually related as well. So the challenges that we go through mentally as like okay, so I think we can start with talking about self-doubt, right? That's one of the things that for me I felt like I suffered with that a lot. It's there's lots of things that um, that we had that I like actually personally suffered with, and this comes from toxic relationships in your life, and you don't realize that the toxic relationships are there because you're constantly giving yourself to people, but you're not seeing who they really are because you're a part of you refuses to see that. So it's important because a good mental health is also about surrounding yourself with people that love you and surrounding yourself putting yourself in a positive environment and making sure that you have peace of mind. Like you're not constantly like feeling like
Can I
doubting
just
yourself.
interrupt you there for a second? So like you spoke about peace of mind, and I think it would be really interesting to understand like what is peace of mind? Is it like we all say these words, it's like a couple of words that we say, but what does it really mean? Like for a parent, you know, having peace of mind means that my kid is safe, I'm putting them in transport, so I know that when they're going to school, like they're traveling safely. Or peace of mind is doing something for someone you love, because you're scared that if something happens to them, you know that, okay, like I've done this for them, so I feel like, you know, at peace. But okay, so like a random example, you go to the shop and you buy a guitar, and then you come back and you but you have no control over it, even though you paid for it, you own it, but you have like either your parents or whoever is telling you, you need to play it at this specific time, and then you have like a tutor that's telling you you need to play it in this exact way, so you start to hate that aspect because you feel no power over it. So our mind is like something that we own, but when we think of peace of mind, it's always about how we like react to other people, other situations. So if our mind was that guitar and we are allowing all these other situations to sort of like control us, like how do, like why is it important for us to take back that power to control our own mind? And like what is peace of mind?
It's a good question. But see, peace of mind would mean something different to each person. Like you in a different situation to cares a different situation to me. So yeah, like as a parent, you want the best for your child. You want to make sure they go to school, and now you know that they have their lunch. If they now with COVID, you make sure that if they do go to school, they wear their masks, and you would tell them that before they go. You know, tell them to sanitize, so that you go, you know that this child has listened to you, and that'll be fine. But as an individual, it's like you should ask yourself, like, what do I need to feel complete? What do I need to feel happy? So the peace of mind means it's a situation where you feel happy. Like if, like say, for example, you would get peace of mind by uh, like cooking something, you know, like preparing a meal and inviting some friends over. Uh, that would be like
Or just
a good
eating? Yeah.
example. Or just eating, yeah. Like, see, you would come for eating, I'd go, I'll do the cooking, and so, like, see,
I'm
for
eating
each
too.
person, it's different. Yeah, you see, there we go, 2 eaters and 1 cook, so that's good. At least there'll be no wastage. But that's for me, like I feel it's like for me, if they're looking at that situation, peace of mind would be like, okay, I'll make a meal and you'll come over and you're satisfied and you'll enjoy the food. So that is my peace of mind. Oh wow, like I made something, everybody enjoyed it, and I'm happy, you know. So for your like, what do you think your peace of mind would be in that scenario?
I think like for me, I've been realizing that peace of mind isn't so much about like the external factors that make up our lives, but it's like the internal thoughts and feelings that we have. So in that situation, I think peace of mind is being um present and like feeling grateful that this person, you know, did this for me, and I can be in this moment with them and be like there completely and be grateful, and not have these thoughts like, oh, like I'm not good enough, like coming back to, you know, the self-doubt that you spoke about, like oh, they did this for me and I did nothing for them, so like I'm so worthless, and having all these thoughts in that moment when we're supposed to be enjoying something. So yeah, like I wanted to like go deeper into like our own minds and the thoughts that we have, like
Yeah.
that you know, destroys our peace, because like lots of situations that deal with other people like bring us peace and happiness, but like are we focusing on ourselves and like the like feeling that peace within just for ourselves, like our own thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think of it in the same way, because the moments that I feel most at peace is when those same cyclical thoughts of like things that have happened in the past, or just like constantly being stuck in the past, or just thinking about the future and just having anxiety over that, or just like thinking about how I'm not able to change current situations. Like when all of those thoughts are not present, I feel particularly calm and more grateful. And so I feel like in
Yeah.
those moments to like cultivate more gratitude will actually increase the amounts of times that you experience something that you enjoy experiencing. Like as you said, like if we were Jay and she made us this lovely meal, obviously sometimes in the past, like your thoughts would be around like what did I bring to this, you know, like not thinking that, but this actually brings a peace, like just looking after us and making sure
Yeah.
that we're having a good time is what makes her happy. But we're thinking about what would make us happy if we were role swapped in that situation, you know,
Yeah.
because we're placing our expectations for ourselves in that situation onto someone else, which again isn't fair, but that only comes from understanding ourselves and obviously the people that we're close to. Like this is what matters to them. Like I know, Chanel, you don't like gifts. Like that's not your thing. Like you wouldn't care much about it. That's who you are. But sometimes I would have felt like I needed to go out of my way to get you like a good gift, but that's not something that you would really love. But on the other hand, like I love gifts. So like if you had to give me like time, even though I love spending time with people, but if you left out a gift, then I'd be like, maybe she just doesn't love me or care for me enough because I have like a
Oh
different
my God.
connotation with that. No,
We've
I'm
been
just
friends for so many years and I didn't know that. I need to get you more gifts. Yo.
no, I'm
Every
just saying
month, a
like
gift for every month.
it's an example,
See,
but
okay, if I
yeah.
want to add to that, I think like if I'm listening to the discussion, I feel like inner peace is affected by overthinking. And
Mm,
if you look at us, like we've all suffered with that. It's like
Yeah.
we take something that is like this small and it like ends up being from a mountain, like a molehill, it ends up being a mountain, you know? And that is the things that affect our inner peace because we can not see a situation as it is. We'll
yeah.
always add on to that, you know, and that's what used to happen before. But yeah, like you said, Chanel, mindfulness is important because if you're in the present moment, there's no time for you to overthink anything, you know? So
No, I mean like say someone is they feel at peace right now because remember like the person that you were as well in the past, you didn't know that hey like I'm not fully at peace because you like firstly you think like oh the overthinking is normal, it's just what I do, it's just who I am,
Yeah.
until you like see other people living lives being present and being so happy and you're like oh okay so like other people do have that. So like the overthinking is one thing that we know that if you when you have overthinking you definitely don't have inner peace because you constantly like analyzing everything and you're like stressing and stuff. Do you know of any other signs that would tell a person that they don't have inner peace as yet, that they need to work towards it?
uh okay, I have to think about that very carefully now.
That when you're attaining inner peace or you're feeling peaceful, it's not that you're getting rid of all the thoughts or the overthinking, it's that you can find a center within with those thoughts going around. It's not like you have to get rid of those thoughts. So I just thought that would be important to mention in context. Like, you know, a lot of people think that meditation is like stopping your mind from thinking at all. And that's just not correct because your mind never stops working. It's like, as Sadhguru said, it's like telling one of your organs, like, okay, I'm trying to like meditate now. Can you stop making, like, can you stop working? Or like, can my kidney stop working for a minute? Like, you know, it doesn't work that way. So just understanding that most of our thoughts are conditioned, that we pick them up subconsciously from the time we were little, from the movies we watch, or from the people around us, from everything is external stimuli, right? So when you realize that you're able to detach from those thoughts in a bit, and you create like this amount of space for yourself, like, okay, here I am, no thoughts, nothing like that, but like these are things that happen because of external stimuli, and with that you create a peace within you. So the thoughts can still continue, but it doesn't mean that it takes away your inner peace.
Okay, so
That is
I think it's
beautiful.
important also to ask yourself questions, right?
Mm,
I think it's important to ask yourself questions like, what would you need in order to attain it? Like, you need to know what makes you happy. You need to know
yeah.
what would make you happy
Yeah,
because
I
this
think
is
most
where
people
like
find that difficult.
expectations come in. Yeah,
Mm,
like see, okay, I need another job. So you get another job, and then you realize you're not happy with the people you work with. So then how are you going to get inner peace or happiness from that situation? So you need to find what it is about the job that you wanted. What did you want? Did you want the job because you took the job because it was closer to work? Did you take it because it gave you more money? Then you need to focus on that specific point. Like If it was
Yeah.
for more money, then you say, okay, no matter what is happening around me, my main focus for taking this job was so that I was closer to home, and on top of it, it gave me extra money. And I had extra money from not traveling so much. So whatever everybody else is doing around me, it shouldn't affect me, because I'm new as well. They don't know who I am. So obviously they're going to judge me. I need to give them the opportunity to get to know me better. So like
Mm.
in that situation, you say have a lunch or with the person and stuff like that. So
You think that they take everything too personally. Like sometimes it may not be true. Like for example, like when you spoke about cooking and stuff for us, and then like in our heads, if we're feeling like, oh my gosh, I didn't do anything for this person, but they're doing this for me, so they probably think like I'm a bad person, but that's not true, because that you didn't feel that or say that way, say that you think that we're bad people, but we think that. So like, do you think that is taking things personally, even though it's not like you didn't even think something like that?
I think it comes with understanding the other person as well, like the people that you're around. Because if you're constantly in a situation where you're doubting yourself, then you need to reassess your relationships with those people. Because, like, you need to ask yourself, like, why am I hanging out with them? Do they make me feel bad? Like, in the sense that when they speak, do they say, oh, I stood and cooked the whole day at the stove, and
Mm.
I now have to go and make dessert, like what does a
Yeah,
person say? Does a person intend, like that's what you need to do. You need to like ask yourself these questions. Who are the people I'm hanging out with? Are these people
Yeah.
creating this feeling inside me, or is it an insecurity that I have? Because if the person didn't say
Mm.
anything, then it's definitely your insecurity.
Yeah, and I think like those insecurities come from like past experiences, and it ties in with what you said about the people that you surround yourself with. Because if you're getting these experiences that make you so insecure with people that actually love and care about you, it's going to sabotage that relationship. Because here you are thinking about all of these things from the wrong people when this is the right crowd for you. So just being able to be like, wow, okay, so like, wow, you really do like love taking care of us so
Mm,
much. So just to accept that wholeheartedly in that moment,
yeah,
regardless of the thoughts, and
mm.
just like stopping for a moment and be like, no, like I'm going to like just be so
yeah,
grateful for this moment, enjoy it
yeah. And also
completely.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, like know your worth, because this person
Yeah.
wouldn't have done those things to you if they didn't care about you or didn't think like you were worth that. So
Mm.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
Yeah,
yeah.
that's important. Mm. Because if you know your worth, then the other person you're going to actually project that out, and then the other people will see that, because you'll have this confidence about you. It's not arrogance, it's confidence. When if somebody says something, oh wow, like they did this for me because I'm special. Like they won't say, oh my God, you just me. I'm sure they want something in return. So yeah. But also the other thing is past relationships. Like sometimes you have to look at how badly was this person hurt before. Like do they have these insecurities or these issues because they've been through this so many times? So maybe they have a bit of trust issues. So okay, so I think the next thing we should cover is limitations, right? So there's a upside and a downside to limitations, a negative and a positive. So like what actually is what how does limitations why is limitations bad actually? Because like if you think of it in a work environment, it can actually affect your productivity, right? Because if you're doing a specific job or something's being assigned to you, you're going to put these limitations on yourself. Like maybe it's something new. You're going to say, oh my God, I don't know this stuff. I don't know how to do this. And you're setting already a limitation. You haven't even touched the work. You don't even know whether you'll understand it, but you're already setting such a low limitation for yourself. And you're saying that I already know I can't do this thing.
Yeah.
So that's a bad thing. Like when it comes to mental health, we put a lot of limitations on ourselves. Like, oh, I'll never get a relationship like that, or I'll never accomplish that thing, or
Yeah.
I'll never. It's like, how do you know you'll never do it? You haven't tried. You don't know what you're capable of. You're just assuming that you didn't. So
yeah,
it's not a fact. It's an assumption more than it's anything else. And we know what happens, when you assume things.
Yeah.
So
And I find
I
it like
think
so interesting also, because we have all these limitations in things that could bring so much of value into our life, but in areas where we should have some boundaries and should have limitations, we don't, like with the wrong people,
Mm.
or just overindulgence in things that we don't really need to do. We don't have any boundaries on
Yes,
those
yes,
things. So it's a matter of just balancing it and putting those things in perspective, because it's not like completely eliminating limitations from your life, but rather using it on things that will actually benefit you in the long term.
yes,
I think limitations, I feel there's two types of people that have well, like everybody has some limitations, but it stems from either two things. Like one, if you were hurt by someone in your past, or
mm,
someone's told you like you can't do that or whatever, then it creates that belief in your head like I can't do that. Or you see someone do it, like maybe someone in your family is like, oh, like they started a business and then they went bankrupt and now they just don't have any money, and then in your head you're like, I will never start a business because that's
Yeah.
going to happen to me. So like sometimes they're not telling you, but you watch them and you create the limitations. Sometimes people tell you, I know I had that a lot. When I wanted to study, people were like, no, you should study this. I'm sure lots of kids
mm,
have that, where everyone wants to tell them like what to do with their future. So that creates like certain
mm,
limitations. And the other part of it is like, I think comes from laziness, because there are some people that have all these opportunities and they can do the thing. Like for example, you mentioned someone at work not doing a specific thing, but so they're in the perfect position to carry out the task or whatever, because they have the job, they have the tools and stuff, but they choosing not to do it. And maybe that doesn't fully stem from like hurt or self-doubt. It just stems from, I don't want to do it because yeah, like I could rather be watching Netflix, or I'm not getting paid enough for this, or like I don't care really. So I think it stems from um like I wouldn't like say laziness in a negative sense, but I would say like laziness in the sense that you it doesn't make you happy, so you don't want to do those things. I'm talking about.
Okay, so I just wanted to add on to the laziness part, because I feel like when people act from that space, it's usually because they have no inner clarity of who they are or what they want, and it comes out in the form of laziness. And they
Yeah.
don't really know that.
mm,
It's just like, I just don't know, I just can't do it. And even though there's no hurt it's stemming from or anything like that, it's just a lack of clarity of who am I and what am I doing, because it can also come from
Yeah,
like
like
your
the
life being
passion.
heavily dictated by other people as well. And I think on
mm,
the flip side of that, we're talking about the good side of limitation, was the boundaries I was speaking about. Like, we set so little boundaries for ourselves. Like, we're always over giving, we're always selfless for others, but we have no time for ourselves. And I know we've all been that people, all three of us, and we know how detrimental that is to our health. And to actually set those boundaries and be like, okay, I will do this and that, but first I need to do these things for myself. Setting a limitation right there, like, I'm gonna do it in a specific way, maybe a little less than what I used to, I'll do it, but I need to do things for myself first. Maybe it's meditation, or maybe it's just watching something that makes you laugh, or just sitting outside and having a cup of
Yeah.
tea, but just taking that time for yourself. So a boundary in that sense, or limitation in letting others drain you, or letting yourself get drained by others, or expecting yourself to do more for others than yourself, I think there should be a limit on that.
yeah. No, that's
Wow, I
correct.
love
Yeah.
that.
Like, mm,
I would love to sum that up into um like letting go of the limitations in what you can achieve, but putting limits on the things that in what you give out to people
Yeah.
that you don't have to give
yeah.
out as
Yeah.
Um, like if you look at limitations in a positive perspective, right? Um, like financial would be one of those things, because if you don't set a financial limitation for yourself, you could spend money you don't have, and
Mm.
that could affect your inner peace, that could affect your state of mind, and that could bring on more stress for you. So setting those, that's where limitation is a positive. And like care, like you said, those what you were talking about, the limitations where you don't extend yourself to people, that is another positive limitation, because it's coming back to you as a
Yeah.
person. Like, what do I need for myself? Because we're the kind of people who's always thinking about what does this person need and how can I help them out. But we'll come last to back to us and like, okay, now what do I need, you know? But
Yeah.
we need to start with us first. Have you ever heard that expression, like when you're in an airplane and there's a situation, help yourself first before you help the other person? And it took me such a long time to actually understand, like not understand, but appreciate that until like I started doing self-care and self-love, and then I'm like, wow, that makes sense, you know, because if there's a situation in an airplane and you don't have enough oxygen, how are you going to even help the other person out? You know, because you don't
Yeah.
have the capabilities at that moment. But if you do help yourself out first, you'll be more aware, more alert, and you can like assist everyone else.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow, you guys are so smart. Oh my gosh. I didn't even think there was like a positive side to limitations, but at least I learned something new, so that's so cool.
I think it all just came to us in this moment. So I think just grateful for the moment
Yeah.
itself. Because it's not like something we like deeply thought about either. It's just like, oh yeah, but they could be like, like things you could use this for. So that's cool.
But
And
also, but also it shows our growth because it shows you that we've grown so much that even though there's negatives to something, we're always looking for the positive. There must be a positive to it as well. And look, we found it. So that like is very important as well.
mention like in order for you to like completely set this limitations or like these boundaries for yourself and remove it from the other spaces that's blocking you, a lot of resilience is required, and that comes a lot from finding yourself and finding who you are, which you can check out in our courses. So yeah, back to you, Jay. Just some promo there.
Okay, so like one of the things would be to believe in yourself. Like believe that you can do something, you know, that would also help with not setting a limitation for yourself. So believe that, you know what, if someone else did it, I'm sure there's a way that I could find a way to do it. Or there's the internet, there's so much of resources out there. If you can't, do research and then find a way how you can do it, but don't say you can't. Like just believe in yourself. Then the second one is believe that you're good enough, because sometimes you set the limitation because you don't feel like you deserve it. So always like feel like you are good enough and you deserve it, and that's why you will accomplish that. um, then the third one would be don't set too high standards for yourself.
No, I was just gonna say that I think everybody when they do something and it works for them, they want everybody around them to do it because they think like then that
Mm,
person's it's gonna work out for them as well. But yeah, like you don't have to we don't have to create this like world where everybody's the same, where everybody's only doing stuff that other people have done because they know
mm,
that worked for the person. Like it's okay to
mm,
fail at stuff.
And I think that also applies to the self, because like fear of moving forward is also like fear of
mm,
the unknown, because you'd rather play with things that you know than things
Yeah.
that you don't. And sometimes like by accident, if something good happens, like example, you're just like messing around in the kitchen and you like this amazing pasta just like pops up, like because like you're just like trying different things and you were just like whatever. But then like from that day forward, you only make pasta this particular way because you like it worked and it came out so nice. So you're
Yes.
blocking yourself from the opportunity of like so many different multitudes of ways to make it, like how it just came to you.
mm.
But you're blocking it because you're like, no, but this is a safe bet. Like, yeah, you can have
Work.
that and
Yeah.
still create more, but I think that's what we forget, because we're holding on so tightly to the present, or to like past memories that made us feel so good, that we're afraid to create new ones, because we're like, maybe if we create it then we're going to forget about these ones, but that's not really true. You always add on. I think we forget that we add on rather than just
Mm.
leave it out completely, because it's always there.
Yeah.
Definitely. I know I was like that before as well, because I was very scared to try anything new. I was scared to
Mm,
try anything at all. But I can say that yeah, like it's amazing. Like you like things that I didn't even think was possible, and then when you achieve it or you live that life, you're like, wow, like it's
mm,
just amazing.
Yeah, and I think like your growth story has been incredible. Like whenever I hear you talk about it or see everything that you achieve, and just when you speak, I learn
mm,
so much, and like there's so much of inspiration in it. And I'm
Same,
sure Jay agrees
same,
as
bro.
well. It's so beautiful, and oh my God, like I don't think like, there'll be a moment where we're not rooting for you because I mean, there were times in the past where we confused, like, like we had to be there like 100% for the other person first and then ourselves. But now we got our priority stage where we completely like with ourselves first and then we share that with others, and it's been like a much healthier space for all of us. And just seeing how you grew and we all grew like from that, and just, I mean, even to be able to do this is such a big thing for us, because I mean, we know the people that we were. And yeah, I think this is like so beautiful, and thank you guys.
Thank you too.
Thank
I'm so
you.
proud of both of you as well, because every day you're just like, it's just incredible, like how you've changed over the past few years, but like for like the benefit of you, and it's been so beautiful.
I think love and support is very important, because when you have that, then you know what you can accomplish as well, because there's someone there rooting for you and saying, I know you can do this, and rooting for you in a positive way, because like you have relationships with people, and then sometimes they're very negative in your life, and they would like, if you accomplish something and like, oh, why didn't you do it this way instead, like then you start doubting yourself, like, oh, should I have done
Yeah.
it that way? But when you're around positive people and people that genuinely love you, whatever you accomplish, they would be proud of you. They would be there supporting you and saying, oh my God, like you accomplished this, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
So that is like very, very important. And I think like us doing this together shows that the love and support that we have like with each other and for each other, because we always want to, we're trying to send it out to the world and say, look, we've done it, you can do it too, and you have our love and support. If you are alone out there and you have no one else, we have us as well. So
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing and so powerful. But that's true. Like support is just has been so important. I couldn't have done the things I did without like your support. Like, yeah, so grateful.
grow, and then also helping other people as well. So the more we grow, the more we want to share that with the world.
And
So,
yeah, I think, yeah.
what would you guys say to people that like right now they feel like they are suffering with overthinking, they do have limitations and things like that? Like what would be their first step? Like what should they do to um like go on this journey of just overcoming that and living their attaining their like peace of mind for themselves?
Well, we have covered a lot of that already. We spoke about clarity and knowing yourself first, and understanding what it is you want and who it is you are. We spoke a lot about the people
Yeah.
that you surround yourself with, and obviously removing yourself from toxic situations, or at least like just putting your boundaries up against people that obviously want too much from you and are not able to do it themselves. We spoke about self-love, and Jay mentioned like knowing that you're good enough and that you deserve good things, which is very important, believing that, because if you don't believe that, you're not going to want to make good decisions for yourself, going forward. And I think that's one of the biggest things about mental mastery, is like when you know who you are and what you want and that you deserve good things, you're always going to make better choices for yourself, and hence you're always going to become a better version of yourself, right? Every single day. We spoke about being present and in the moment, and like looking at things as they are, and trying to not engage in the mind chatter and talk, regardless of how much it comes up, but just like being present in the moment and listening. We spoke a little about meditation, and we spoke a lot about support and love from people that do love and care for you, and not blocking them out, but rather letting those people in and blocking the toxic people out. So those were some of the methods that we covered.
Yeah. So
Thank
just to
you.
answer
That
your question,
was
Chanel,
brilliant.
just to answer your question, Chanel, I feel like with overthinking, it comes from insecurity. So you need to start by forgiveness. You need to, when you look back at your life and you say what it is that you need to forgive, you start off there. When you start forgiving things, you start opening your mind, you start opening your soul up to more wonderful experiences. And you don't have to go to that person and say, I forgive you. You have to forgive yourself, for being so hard on yourself, because you're very hard on yourself all the time. And you forgive yourself, and then you say, let me forgive the situation. I may not, maybe the person is not even around anymore, so you can't even get the forgiveness from them.
You
So
like
you say,
transcend
I
it
want to
through
forgive the
understanding.
situation.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. And then he's like, I want to forgive the situation, and maybe you just don't want to talk to that person anymore as well, because you realize this person hurt you so much. It's better that you don't have like the toxic relationships. You don't have these people, so you don't want to go back to them and say, you know what, I forgive you. You want to say to yourself, I forgive this person for what they did to me. So when you start off there, then it will open yourself up to much more, and then you have less insecurities, and like that's how it starts off. I think it starts off with forgiveness.
Yeah, forgiveness, you're right, like forgiveness is powerful. I think I've experienced that as well. It's hard when you think about it like initially and you're like, I can't forgive this person. But yeah, like when you sit down and you really like think about the situation and you're just observing it and not feeling the pain, you try to you feel the pain at first, then you like move to the observer, and then you're just understanding why did that person do what they did. It doesn't make it right, but you understand. So it's easier for you to like let go of that, and you need to let go of it for yourself, not for them. Like Carrie summarized everything beautifully. And just to add to that, you can check out our meditation that's coming out soon. It's like really short, so if you want to just start with meditations, you might enjoy that, and it will help you with some mental mastery. And please let us know in the comments if you want to chat about anything. If you feel you don't have people in your life that you can talk about, you can talk to us. Thank you for listening and watching. And thank you guys for this. It was amazing. And I'm so grateful to be here with you.
Thank you, Shanal. I want to say thank you as well for this, because I've always been wanting to be out there and help people and stuff, and I think this might help a lot of people. And if anybody wants like to speak about anything specific, they must comment, put it in the comments, and we can make like a video or have a discussion about it. And maybe one day we can have a live discussion and everybody else can get involved as well. So we'll plan that in the future.
Yes.
But just don't be so hard on yourself. All I want to say is don't be so hard on yourself, and practice that self-love. Give yourself like love. When you're giving love out to someone else, think to yourself, how much of that am I keeping for myself? How much of that am I doing? So yeah, I think it's so important. So thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for organizing this, Care and Chanel. I really enjoyed it, and love you lots.
Love you guys too, and yes to many more. And yeah, we'll figure this as we go on. And this has been really cool. So yeah, everyone have a good day.